My name is Manuel Rivera, and I've built a solid life in Miami's bustling heart. At 35, I'm an architect who's just landed a major contract for a waterfront development in South Beach. I thrive on turning challenges into structures that last, reliable, strong, unyielding. That's how I approach everything, including my marriage to Isabella, my wife of 8 years. She's 32, a sharp project manager at a tech firm downtown, the kind of woman who closes deals with a single decisive email. We met at a networking event in Betrayal, bonded over shared ambitions, and turned our partnership into a home. I handle the grill at our weekend barbecues for the neighborhood, fixing fences for elderly neighbors without a second thought. Isabella organizes the community runs, pushing everyone to keep pace. People see us as the couple that gets things done, the ones you call when you need backup. That Friday evening, I wrapped up a long day at the site, coordinating with the crew on beam placements. The sun dipped low over Biscayne Bay as I drove home, already planning to surprise Isabella with takeout from our favorite Cuban spot. She texted earlier, staying late for a client pitch. Don't wait up. I replied with a thumbs-up emoji and ordered the food anyway. By 9 p.m., I was scrolling through blueprints on my laptop when my banking app pinged. A notification, $450 charge from La Luna, timestamped 7:45 p.m. La Luna? That upscale spot in Wynwood, known for its intimate tables and wine pairings meant for dates, not business. We hadn't been there in months, and definitely not that week. I double-checked the transaction. It was on our joint card, the one she used for work expenses. Isabella had mentioned a team meeting, but La Luna didn't fit. Too romantic, too far from her office. I called her colleague Javier, a guy I'd met at company picnics. Hey Manuel, what's up? He answered. Is Isabella still at the pitch tonight? Javier paused. Pitch? No, the team's off early. She said she had personal stuff. My grip tightened on the phone. Personal stuff? I thanked him and hung up, staring at the screen. No immediate accusations. I needed facts. I pulled up the restaurant site. Reservations required, couples menus starting at $400. Not a place for solo work dinners. She walked in at 10:30 p.m., keys jingling as she dropped her bag on the counter. I stood to hug her, and that's when I caught it. A faint whiff of cologne, not her usual light scent, but something deeper, unfamiliar. Mail. Rough night? I asked, handing her the takeout container. She nodded, pecking my cheek. Client was demanding. We wrapped it with drinks. Drinks at La Luna? I didn't press yet, just watched as she ate quickly, checking her phone every few minutes. Later, as she headed to the bedroom, I noticed her fumbling with the device, entering a new passcode, one I didn't know. We'd always shared access, no secrets. Changed it for security, she said when I raised an eyebrow. Company policy. I nodded, but doubt crept in. The next morning, Saturday, I woke early and checked her bag while she showered. Quick, methodical, like reviewing site plans for floss. Tucked in a side pocket. A ticket stub for a jazz concert at the Adrian Arsh Center, dated 2 nights ago. She told me she was at a networking mixer that evening, but jazz? We loved live music, yet she hadn't mentioned it. No invite for me. I pocketed the stub and waited. She emerged, towel-dried hair, and joined me for coffee. Busy week ahead. I asked casually. She sipped and smiled. Yeah, more client stuff. Might need the card for expenses. I slid the banking app toward her, open to the charge. Like this one? Her eyes flicked to the screen. For a split second, she hesitated, then recovered. Oh, that? Must be from Maria's birthday dinner. She borrowed my card. Hers glitched on the app. Maria, her coworker? I knew Maria. She'd mentioned a group outing, but not at La Luna. She owes me half, Isabella added, already typing on her phone. Sent it this morning. Smooth, too smooth. I let silence hang, watching her scroll emails without a flinch. No apology, no details, just deflection. You okay? She asked, not looking up. Yeah, I said. Just keeping track. Inside, my mind raced. This wasn't adding up. That afternoon, I acted. Drove to the Arsh Center box office under the guise of picking up tickets for us. The clerk confirmed. 1 ticket, purchased online under Isabella's name, no companion listed. Back home, I synced our old shared location app. We'd used it for safety during her late drives. It was still active on her phone. By evening, as she claimed another quick team call, I saw the dot move. Not toward the office, but south to Coconut Grove. A trendy area with cafes and condos, not her usual route. I grabbed my keys and followed at a distance, heart steady but alert. Parked 2 blocks away and watched her enter a sleek building, not a coffee shop, but a residential lobby. She emerged 90 minutes later, laughing into her phone as she walked to her car. I stayed hidden, snapping photos from afar, her waving goodbye to a man at the door, tall, suited, not someone I recognized. Back home before her, I deleted the location history to avoid a trace. When she arrived, flushed and energized, she kissed me. "Productive call?" I asked. "Very," she replied, heading straight for a shower. The cologne lingered faintly again. That night, as she slept, I lay awake, piecing it together. The charge, the stub, the secret meetings, small cracks, but widening. I wasn't paranoid. I was prepared. Tomorrow, I'd dig deeper. Install a tracker on her car, check her emails through our linked accounts. No more waiting. If something was breaking, I'd find the fault line and fix it, or rebuild without it. But then, the first real twist hit. While reviewing our joint statements on my tablet, I spotted another anomaly. A $200 Uber charge from the same night as the concert, drop-off at a hotel in South Beach. Not home, not work. Isabella stirred in bed, murmuring something about tomorrow's pitch. Pitch to who? I closed the app, resolve hardening. This wasn't just doubt anymore. It was a signal to act. By dawn, I'd contacted a private investigator friend from my construction days. Discreet, professional. "Manuel," he said, "give me 48 hours. I would. Because in Miami, where deals rise and fall on trust, I wasn't about to let mine collapse without a fight. The next day, Sunday, I met Rico at a quiet diner off Biscayne Boulevard. He's a PI with a background in security for Miami's high-rises, the kind of guy who spots weak points before they crack. I slid him a coffee and briefed him. The La Luna charge, the concert stub, the Coconut Grove visit. Track her car, check her routines, I said. Discreet. No tails she can spot. Rico nodded, pocketing my retainer check. I'll have prelims by Tuesday. Text only. I drove home focused, already outlining next steps in my head. Isabella was in the kitchen, prepping for the week, chopping vegetables with quick, efficient strokes. "Productive morning?" she asked without turning. "Client follow-up," I replied, matching her casual tone. Inside, I activated the GPS tracker I'd installed on her car bumper that morning. Small device, synced to my phone app. No invasion, just facts. By afternoon, her location pinged, heading to a gym in Brickell, not the office. I let it go, focusing on my own work, revising blueprints for the South Beach project. But curiosity pulled me. I drove by the gym an hour later, under the pretense of grabbing supplies nearby. Her car was there, but as I circled the block, the app showed it moving again, toward downtown, straight to Diego's condo complex in Edgewater. Diego Morales, her boss, I'd pieced together from company emails I'd glimpsed once. Ambitious director in his late 30s, always posting about team wins on LinkedIn. I parked a street over, engine off, and waited. 20 minutes later, Isabella arrived, parking and entering the lobby without a glance around. No gym bag visible, just her work tote. I didn't approach. Instead, I pulled out my phone and started recording through the windshield tint, her entering, then emerging after 45 minutes, laughing as she talked on her phone. A man, tall, in a button-down, walked her to her car, hand brushing her arm. They paused by the door. She leaned in, touched his shoulder briefly, then drove off. I captured it all, time-stamped. Heart rate steady, I reviewed the footage. Not proof of anything physical, but the intimacy screamed wrong. Back home before her, I uploaded the video to a secure folder and wiped the app history. She returned flushed, claiming a strategy session with Diego, brainstorming Q3 goals. At his place, I asked, pouring water. She blinked once. "No, coffee shop nearby. He lives close." Lie. The app confirmed the exact address. That evening, tension simmered. We sat for dinner, simple grilled fish and rice, but conversation stayed surface. "Big week." I probed. She nodded, texting under the table. Deadlines piling up. I watched her thumb fly across the screen, then slipped the phone face down when I leaned forward. Later, in bed, she turned away, citing exhaustion. No intimacy, no lingering touch like before. I waited until her breathing evened, then checked our shared cloud account, still linked from old photo backups. Buried in her email drafts, an invite from Diego, private dinner at La Luna, discussed that promotion offline. 7 p.m. Friday. Sent 2 days ago, her reply. Sounds perfect. See you there. My stomach nodded, but I screenshotted it, heart pounding with clarity. This wasn't flirtation, it was planned. Monday hit hard. I dove into the waterfront project, directing the crew on foundation pours, but my mind tracked her. The app showed her leaving the office early for lunch, heading to a park in Coral Gables. I couldn't follow without risking exposure, so I called Rico. Got movement, I said. Edgewater yesterday. He grunted approval. Building on it. Check your secure drop tonight. By evening, he delivered. Photos of Isabella and Diego at a waterfront cafe last week, heads close over laptops, her foot nudging his under the table. Another shot, them leaving a team event, her arm linked in his. Patterns match, Rico texted. More tomorrow. I confronted the evidence alone, resolve building. No rage, just strategy. I changed our joint account password that night, citing security update, in a note left on the counter. She didn't comment. The twist came Tuesday morning. Isabella woke agitated, scrolling her phone furiously. Bank app glitched, she muttered, trying to log in. I feigned surprise. Try resetting. She did, but it bounced. My new password locked her out. Weird, she said, grabbing her laptop. That's when I saw her delete a string of messages in our shared chat history, ones I'd missed before. Flirty emojis, late night, can't wait for our next brainstorm, from Diego. She slammed the lid shut when I entered the room. Work stuff? She snapped, first edge I'd heard. Later, Rico's update dropped. Audio snippet from a public recorder near the office, her voice laughing with Diego. Michael's clueless. This promotion's ours if we play it right. Michael? My name's Manuel. Slip up, or code. But the real gut punch. A forwarded email in her trash. Diego promising help with the house down payment if she sealed the deal on the client pitch. Wink emoji attached. Bribery? A fair-fueled favoritism? I forwarded it all to my lawyer contact, a no-nonsense firm in Coral Gables specializing in marital assets. Tension peaked that night. Isabella suggested date night, out of nowhere, after weeks of distance. Let's hit that Cuban place, reconnect. I agreed, watching for cracks. At the restaurant, she ordered wine, leaned in close. I've been stressed, but I love what we have. Midway through, her phone buzzed. Ignored it first, then excused herself to the patio. I slipped out after, staying back. Through the glass, I saw her on the phone, whispering urgently, Diego, not now. He's here. Tomorrow, same spot. She pocketed it, returned with a smile. Client update. I nodded, but inside, pieces locked. This was no innocent flirt. It was a web, pulling her away, maybe tangling our finances too. By Wednesday, I escalated. Installed monitoring on our home Wi-Fi, legal for joint accounts, and caught her searching discreet Miami hotels at midnight. Rico confirmed. Diego's condo visits twice weekly, always post-work. I didn't sleep much, but action fueled me. Printed key emails, stored videos on an external drive. Confrontation loomed, but not yet. I needed airtight proof. The second twist blindsided me during a site break. Isabella called, voice shaky. Car won't start. Can you pick me up? Location, not the office, but a motel off I-95, seedy edge of town. I drove there fast, spotting her car in the lot. Engine hood up, tampered? She waited by the entrance, alone, but a second vehicle pulled away as I arrived. Diego's plates, from Rico's earlier tags. Jumped battery, she lied, avoiding my eyes. I towed it home silently, mind racing. Sabotage? Cover for a meetup? Either way, the line crossed. No more games. I'd expose it all, protect what was mine, and let the consequences build. Thursday morning, I towed Isabella's car to the shop myself, dropping it off before heading to the South Beach site. The mechanic texted later, no battery issue, but signs of tampering. Loose cables, like someone wanted it to fail. Diego? Or her staging a cover? I didn't accuse. Instead, I forwarded the report to Rico. Dig into his background, I instructed. Any history with subordinates? Rico replied quick. On it. Patterns emerging. At work, I pushed the crew harder, aligning steel beams with precision, channeling frustration into results. By noon, my phone buzzed, Rico's secure link. I stepped away to a quiet corner and opened it. Diego's personnel file, leaked from a contact in HR. 2 prior complaints. One for inappropriate advances on a junior analyst, settled quietly with a payout. Another for mentoring that crossed lines. Isabella's promotion last quarter, tied directly to his recommendation. Favoritism, at best. I drove home early, mind mapping the confrontation. Isabella was on her laptop in the living room when I entered, typing rapidly. Car's fixed, I said, setting keys down. Tampered, actually. She looked up sharply. What? That's impossible. I pulled up the mechanic's photos on my phone, showing the disconnected terminals. Her fingers paused on the keys. Maybe it just wore out. I sat across from her. Where someone needed you stuck somewhere. Silence stretched. She closed the laptop. You're paranoid, Manuel. Work's stressful enough. But her eyes darted to the screen before shutting it. That night, I accessed our home Wi-Fi logs. Her searches now included Divorce Lawyers Miami at 2 a.m. Twist 1. She was planning an exit, maybe with Diego's help. Friday loomed as the deadline. The email from Diego's invite. Dinner at La Luna. I texted her casually. Big plans tonight? She replied, team strategy. Late. I nodded to myself. Prepping. Rico called mid-afternoon. Got access to her work chat via a backdoor. Legal gray, but you asked. Screenshots incoming. They hit my inbox. Messages between her and Diego, flirty escalations. Can't wait to celebrate properly after the pitch, he wrote. Her. Our secret spot? Winking face then, the gut punch, a shared calendar invite, private, for a client follow-up at his Edgewater condo, same time as the dinner. But Rico had more. Audio from a planted recorder near her desk, her voice. Manuel's onto the charges, but I'll handle it. Focus on us. Us, not the team. I saved everything to a USB drive, labeled and locked in my safe. No more fragments. This was the full blueprint of betrayal. I didn't wait for her lie that evening. As she grabbed her tote to leave, I blocked the door. La Luna, right? With Diego. She froze, hand on the knob. What are you talking about? I held up my phone, playing the chat audio snippet. Her laugh, his suggestion for our spot. Color drained from her face. That's out of context. Networking. I stepped closer, voice level. Networking with kisses? Rico's got video from last week's cafe, your foot under the table, and the condo visits. 3 this month. She backed up, shaking her head. You're spying? That's illegal. Joint accounts, shared apps. You set that precedent. Tension crackled. She grabbed her phone, dialing. I snatched it gently. Call him. Put on speaker. She hesitated, then did. Diego answered. Isabella? Ready for dinner? I spoke. This is Manuel. Stay away from my wife. Click. He hung up. She lunged for the phone, but I held firm. It's not what you think, she pleaded. He's pushing for the promotion. I had to play along. I pulled the USB from my pocket. Play this. Plugged into her laptop. Rico's full file opened. Complaints, emails, the audio of her plotting. Her hands trembled as she scrolled. This is private. Not when it involves our money, our life. That's when Twist 2 hit, buried in the file. A bank transfer confirmation, $5,000 from our joint savings to an account in Diego's name. Labeled consulting fee, but time-stamped after one of their meetups. She'd been siphoning funds, small amounts building. For the house, she whispered, seeing my stare. Our down payment. Lie. The account was new. Offshore ties via Rico's trace. Embezzlement? Or payoff for favors? Rage simmered, but I stayed controlled. Architect's precision. Pack a bag. Guest room tonight. She nodded, defeated, retreating upstairs. I called my lawyer, Elena Vargas, immediately. Manuel, that's fraud territory, she said after I emailed the files. Freeze assets now. I'll draft separation papers. By midnight, accounts locked, statements pulled. Isabella emerged once, eyes red. We can fix this. I shook my head. You chose the web. She returned to the guest room. Door clicked shut. I didn't sleep. Poured over evidence, building my case. Saturday dawned tense. She avoided me, working calls from the guest room. I headed to the site, but detoured to Rico. One more thing, I said. His car at the motel last week. Plates match. Rico grinned. Got you covered. HR tip line next. That afternoon, escalation. Isabella burst into the kitchen as I reviewed blueprints. Diego called. Says you're blackmailing him. I laughed once. Tell him to check his email. I'd sent an anonymous packet to the company's HR. Videos, chats, the transfer proof. No threats, just facts. Ethical violation in progress. Review attached. Copy to internal audit. She paled. You ruined everything. You did, with the lies. She slammed her fist on the counter. It was just dinners. He promised the VP spot. I countered. And the money? Our money. Silence. Then, her phone rang. HR. She answered, voice breaking. Yes, ma'am. I can explain. Hung up, staring at me. Investigation starts Monday. Suspended pending review. Night fell heavy. I secured the house, changed locks on shared spaces, moved valuables to my office safe. She texted from the guest room. Please, delete the files. For us. I ignored it, focusing on calls to our mutual friends, casual check-ins. Isabella's taking space. Handling it. No drama, just boundaries. But the third twist came via Rico's urgent text at 10 p.m. Diego's retaliating. He's filing a counter, claims you harassed him. But wait. Isabella's emails show she initiated the transfers. Screenshot. Her asking for advance on bonus wired to him. Power play reversed. She wasn't victim. She was partner in the scheme. I forwarded to Elena. Strengthens our fraud claim. Sunday, climax built. Isabella confronted me at breakfast, voice edged. HR wants my statement. Say it was mutual, or I'll tell them you spied illegally. Leverage attempt. I met her gaze. Go ahead. Evidence speaks. She deflated, retreating. By evening, company email hit her inbox. CC to me somehow. Diego on leave. Her reassigned to admin pending probe. She sobbed in the guest room. I walked past, unmoved. Called Elena. Papers ready? Serve tomorrow. No violence. No screams. Just inexorable pressure. The web unraveled thread by thread. I'd acted fast, decisively, turning suspicion to certainty. But peace? Not yet. The real storm brewed in the fallout, and I braced for it. Strong, unyielding. Monday arrived with a knock at the door, process server delivering Elena's separation papers. I signed them in the kitchen, steady hand, then left them on the counter for Isabella. She emerged from the guest room, scanning the documents. This is too fast, she said, voice tight. We can mediate. I met her eyes. You had chances to come clean. Now it's law. She crumpled the edge of a page. HR suspended me today. No pay. This will ruin me. I nodded. Actions have costs. By noon, Rico updated. Company probe escalated. Diego interviewed, denying everything. But the transfers traced back, $5,000 plus 2 smaller ones, all from her approvals. Elena called next. Fraud angle strengthens. File for asset freeze by Wednesday. I authorized it, protecting our savings, the house equity for my projects. Isabella's retaliation came swift. That afternoon, her lawyer emailed, aggressive, demanding alimony and half the assets, claiming emotional abuse from my surveillance. Twist 1. Attached was a forged log, showing me hacking her accounts, timestamps manipulated to make me look obsessive. Elena laughed when I forwarded it. Amateur. We'll counter with the real evidence. Her emails initiating the transfers. I didn't engage directly. Instead, I met with our joint financial advisor, pulling statements showing her unauthorized moves. Protect the marital pot, I instructed. He nodded, freezing joint access. By evening, Isabella confronted me in the hallway. You're destroying our life for spite. I held up the forged log printout. This is spite. Yours. She snatched it, tearing it up. I had to fight back. Diego's gone, fired this morning. Company fallout spread. I got a call from Javier, her colleague. Manuel, HR's a mess. They found more. Diego's been doing this for years. Isabella's name's everywhere. I thanked him, hung up, and texted Rico, monitor her calls. He delivered by night. Recordings of her pleading with Diego. We can sue them for wrongful termination. Say it was consensual mentoring. His response, too risky. Your husband's onto us. Cut ties. Us. Confirmed partnership. I saved the audio, adding to the USB. No yelling. I worked late on site revisions, directing the crew via video call, keeping momentum. Isabella texted from the guest room. Let's talk terms. I'll admit the affair if you drop the fraud. I replied once. Lawyer to lawyer. Tuesday brought the asset freeze order, court stamped, effective immediately. Elena served it on Isabella at her temporary office pickup. She stormed home, waving the notice. You locked me out of everything. How do I pay rent? I stayed calm. Use your savings. The ones you didn't touch. She paced, dialing her lawyer. I overheard. Push for emergency hearing. Claim hardship. But twist 2 hit via Elena's urgent call. Isabella had filed for divorce first, hours earlier, in Broward County. Jurisdiction shopping to drag it out, claiming the house as her primary residence. Smart, but sloppy, Elena said. We counterfile in Miami-Dade. Her Broward address? Diego's condo. Proof from Rico. Lease in her name. Started 2 months ago. Backdated. Secret apartment. I laughed once dark. Serves her. Friends rallied without me asking. At a quick lunch with our neighbor group, they shared. Isabella had confided marital issues, painting me as controlling. But Javier pulled me aside. She tried recruiting me for her story, said you spied illegally. I told HR the truth. Her late nights were never work. Support solidified. I focused on the project, landing a bonus for on-time beams. Home turned neutral zone. We passed in halls, shared no meals. She worked calls, job hunting desperately. I reviewed evidence nightly, building the case. Affair docs, financial trails, the motel tampering report linking to Diego's toolshed visit via security cam Rico pulled. Wednesday's hearing loomed. Emergency for the freeze. Elena prepped me. Stick to facts. No emotion. In the courthouse lobby, Isabella arrived with her lawyer, a slick type from Fort Lauderdale. They whispered. She avoided my gaze. Judge called us in. Elena presented first. Transfers, emails, audio. Clear marital fraud. Her side countered. Mr. Rivera invaded privacy, causing distress. But the judge reviewed the forged log. This manipulation taints your claim. Then, my testimony. She moved money without consent, hid assets at another address. Proof dropped. The condo lease, Rico's time-stamped photos of her keying in. Isabella shifted, whispering furiously to counsel. Judge ruled. Freeze upheld. Her Broward filing transferred to Miami. Temporary support denied, pending full review. Return next month for division. Outside, her lawyer pulled Elena aside. Settlement talk. Isabella approached me directly. This isn't over. I'll expose your PI. I shrugged. Do it. Records show I hired him after the first charge. She deflated, retreating to her car. Victory small, but real, no assets lost yet. Back home, I called our realtor friend, appraised the house solo. Prep for sale if needed. She agreed, valuing it high from my improvements. Isabella overheard, bursting in. Selling? That's my home too. Half, fair split, I said. After debts cleared. She slammed the door, but quieter now. Probe updates via Javier. Company offering her a quiet exit. No reference, if she signed NDA. Twist 3 unfolded Thursday. Rico texted. Big one. Diego's ex-subordinate came forward. Lawsuit against him for coercion. Names Isabella as knowing accomplice. Video attached. Her at a bar with him, discussing bonuses for silence. I forwarded to Elena. Leverage. Isabella got the news same time. Company email, severance ultimatum. She knocked on my office door that night. Help me. Testify it was pressure, not choice. I stood. No. Truth as you chose. She left, defeated. Fallout cascaded. Diego arrested for unrelated embezzlement probe, his condo raided. Found her spare key, joint docs. Elena pounced, strengthens our fraud case. Push for full asset award. By week's end, house felt mine again. I hosted a small crew barbecue, sharing project wins, friends toasting my steadiness. Isabella packed subtly, bags in guest room, job apps stacking. No pleas, just logistics. I slept better, plans firm. Divorce, rebuild career, community ties stronger. But pressure mounted for her. Bills due, no income, reputation shredded in tech circles. She texted once, sorry for the money. Won't fight it. Elena advised, get it in writing. I did, via email chain. Consequences closed in, lawful, inexorable. No cruelty, just accountability. The web tightened around her choices, and I stepped clear, focused forward. The full divorce hearing convened 2 weeks later in Miami-Dade courthouse, a straightforward session with Elena leading charge. I arrived early, reviewing final exhibits. The USB with all evidence, financial audits showing Isabella's transfers totaling $12,000, and Rico's sworn affidavit on the motel tampering. No theatrics, just facts. Judge Ramirez, a no-nonsense type, called order. Elena opened. Your Honor, we've proven marital fraud via unauthorized asset moves and deception tied to an affair. She presented the emails, audio clips, and bank traces. Isabella's lawyer countered weakly. My client admits poor judgment, but claims duress from her superior. Mr. Rivera exacerbated by invasive monitoring. I testified next, voice steady. The monitoring started after the first suspicious charge. Her actions preceded mine. Transfers, secret lease, hidden meetings. Judge reviewed the condo lease proof. This shows premeditation. Isabella took the stand, voice wavering. Diego pressured me for the promotion. I sent the money under duress. But cross-examination unraveled it. Elena produced her initiating emails. Wire the bonus advance. And the bar video where she laughed about our plan. Judge paused the tape. This doesn't sound coerced. Her lawyer shifted to emotional plea. She seeks equitable division and support. Elena fired back. Equitable means accountability. She drained joint funds for personal gain. I added. The house equity came from my projects. She contributed minimally during the affair period. Deliberation took an hour. Judge ruled. Divorce granted. Assets split 70-30 in my favor, covering fraud recovery. House awarded to me outright. Her share offset by the stolen amounts. No alimony. She kept her separate savings. Actions have consequences, judge said. Case closed. Outside, Isabella approached, lawyer trailing. This isn't fair. I lost everything. I met her gaze. Fair is what you built with lies. Start over. She turned away, silent. Elena clapped my shoulder. Clean win. No appeals likely. Diego's side crumbled same day. His embezzlement charges stuck, company firing him publicly for ethical breaches. Isabella's probe ended with her NDA-signed exit. No reference. Severance clawed back for the transfers. She moved to the condo full-time, job hunting in lower circles, admin roles, far from her VP dreams. Friends distanced. Javier texted. She called, but we see the truth now. I dove into rebuilding immediately. Sold the house at peak value. My improvements paid off, netting enough for a fresh start in Coconut Grove. New place. Modern, near the bay, perfect for future projects. At work, the South Beach development hit milestone. I led the team to on-time completion, earning a promotion to senior architect. Community ties strengthened. I organized a neighborhood build-a-thon, fixing storm-damaged roofs post-hurricane season, drawing dozens. Manuel's the rock, one neighbor said, handing tools. No bitterness. I shared the story selectively, framing it as tough lesson in trust. Dates started casual, a coffee with Sophia, a colleague from a vendor firm. Smart, driven, no secrets. We bonded over blueprints, her laughing at my site stories. Twist in the epilogue came via certified mail a month later. Isabella's settlement offer, routed through lawyers. I'll testify against Diego fully if you release the fraud claim remainder. Elena advised against. He's already pleading. Let it stand. I declined, but anonymously tipped her off to a support group for a fair fallout, clean break. She didn't respond. Diego's trial loomed. His coercion case ballooned with more witnesses. Isabella named co-conspirator, but granted immunity for cooperation. She testified remotely, voice flat, admitting the scheme. Verdict. He got 3 years probation, fines, career end. She walked free but scarred. New job at a small firm, starting entry-level, rebuilding from scratch. Months passed. I stood at the Grove waterfront, overseeing my next project, a community center with eco-features, funded partly by my bonus. Sophia joined, handing me a hard hat. Proud of you, she said. I nodded, directing the crew to pour the foundation. No looking back. The old life dissolved in accountability's wake. Isabella? Last I heard, single, focused on therapy and low-key work. Consequences taught her, as they did me. Trust earned, not assumed. I thrived, stronger projects, deeper bonds, a future unshadowed. In Miami's relentless sun, foundations hold when built true.